For Java, the midterm only required a fairly simple assignment that applied basic concepts, but as I've been through C#, Advanced C#, C++, Advanced C++, Python, and SQL, I did not want to make another console application, so I made a simple Minecraft plugin instead. I'm not going to explain Minecraft, but it is a sandbox game that allows you to basically build anything in addition to being extremely addictive. You can also fight. When first experimenting, I played with bows, but soon realized that a command system for Fireworks would be much more interesting. This is my first time really using IntelliJ, which was kind of different than Eclipse, but for the most part, it had the same things. Since I'm making a Minecraft plugin, this means all the code is actually running on a server. But in this case, the server is just locally on my computer. In order to run the plugin, you're going to need something called Bucket, which is just a set of community-built open source tools made with the intention to ease the creation of plugins. The thing is, I'm actually running the server on a software named Paper, which is a recreation of Spigot that is a recreation of Bucket. You do not need to worry about any of those details. The important part is that I'm running a local server, which is what all the code is getting ran through. Inside Firework command.java, I implement command executor, which is an interface that contains a single method for executing commands. First, I get the color that the user requests the firework to be. I start by using the method that command executor provides to get the user's input. Supplied in this method is the command executor and arguments passed in. I check if the executor is a player or console input, and if it's a player, I define the player variable. Next, I get the center of this found in-game in the form of coordinates. I can then check if any arguments were supplied by the player. If so, this argument should be one of three colors: red, green, or blue. However, I'm going to create a separate method for this to do JUnit testing in the future. I create a function that'll take in a string as user input and create an array with the three colors that I want. I know we didn't learn arrays in class yet, but it made sense to use it here. I'll create another array for displaying the color in-game. This funny symbol tells Bucket that I'm trying to output a certain color into the chat. All the colors can be found on this image. I'll check if the array has a color that the user is asking for, and return another array with the first result being the message that the user receives, and the second being the color that I'll be using internally. Coming back to the original method, I'll start by checking if the player supplied an argument. If so, I'll implement this in and create a for loop that runs 40 times. Inside of this, I'll create a clone of the block location variable in order to not modify it for the other 39 times this runs, and get a random location around the fountain to subsequently launch the firework with. To do this, I create another method. Inside this method, I pass in the location that the firework will spawn, the power of the firework, which is basically the time until ignition, and the specific firework effect that'll play when it explodes. I'll also create another effect if the player did not supply any color. An array is created of 8 firework colors that I loop through 5 times and generate the fireworks with the same method as before. Finally, we can register the command into Minecraft with this line of code, and we'll be able to see our results in game. Boot up the server, and let's see the results.